Okay, as I mentioned earlier this week, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the appeals, just so that you are aware of how we use these in this class. So section A3, which is assigned for next week, deals with fallacies, and it also deals with the different appeals. And when we talk about the appeals, this goes back to Aristotle, and this little image on the screen is called the rhetorical triangle. The rhetorical triangle consists of, we have logos, ethos, and pathos. So you see I have in parentheses for logos. We're talking about logic, reason, evidence. This deals with the actual text. And so when you're looking for logos, you're looking to see if the author provides factual evidence to support his or her claims. You will also use this whenever you're writing yourself. So for instance, let's take this first little essay that you're going to write. When you make a claim, you can still support it with evidence, even though we're talking about your own personal life. And so that is the information that is on the text. It is in research papers, it's going to be you relying on your resources, or your authors that you're reading, them relying on resources. And so logos is the big one. So I don't know exactly who came up with the actual triangle shape, because usually you want to have more logos than the others. It is just we base arguments more on logos because that makes them credible, okay, and logical. Okay, so that's logos, and that is what is the text doing to convince the reader to believe the argument. Down here in ethos, this deals with the author. So how has the author presented his or her credibility? Is the author ethical in his or her claims? And so one thing that I noted in the Janet Emig article that you're reading this week, she acknowledges that the study is a little premature. Well, I don't know if premature is the right words. There's more to be done. And so that shows credibility on her part. She's not coming out and just saying that, this is the end result or whatever. She's talking about the fact that there needs to be more done. She acknowledges that there are a few weaknesses with the study. So that shows credibility on her part, not to mention the fact that she is a writing researcher and instructor. Now, so that's what you want to look at if you can. A lot of times resources will provide author information, and so that helps with establishing whether the source is credible or not. So the ethos has everything to do with the author and how he presents the information and his qualifications. Finally, the most often used in our lives is pathos. So pathos deals with the emotions. Pathos is what we see a lot in advertisements, so it's going to play on any emotion, usually fear, okay? Sometimes feelings of patriotism and love, but you have to be careful with pathos because it is not enough to be convincing. Unfortunately, in our climate, political climate today and just social climate, we have a lot of decisions and arguments that are based on pathos, that they're just highly emotional and they lack actual evidence and scientific backing. So you have to be careful how you use pathos. It should not ever be like the entire driving force behind an argument. It can be part of it. So as you read, and I don't know how much emotion you're going to see in some of these articles about writing, it is fine that there are some humorous things in there, and some that like kind of poke fun itself and that sort of thing. Those are all still pathos related. So pathos is very much about how does this affect the audience? How can I affect the audience? So the thing with all three of these are the appeals that I gave you the other resource for. As you're reading, you want to think about how the author is using all three of these. And then when you begin writing, you want to think about how you use all three. Thanks.